My favourite thing ever is visiting a new planet. At least it used to be. It's not anymore because when we get there, I don't even get to get off the stupid ship. Being on the run is a lot more exciting than movies, for sure. Mum's job as interplanetary chef, helping humans and aliens talk about culture and stuff, was the best. Because we don't just meet aliens, we meet famous aliens. All my friends back on Earth are lucky to even see one in real life, and in the past 2 years, I've met loads. I can tell my friends how squidgy a Nilitonian's tentacle is when you shake appendages, how smelly Garcoola are, and that you never want to touch a Yuluti because they're slimier than a frog. Not to mention I've got to eat a bunch of different alien foods. Some are so good. My younger brother and I are homeschooled, since we travel so much. I'm 8, but Aiden's only 5, so there's really not much he can learn yet. He knows his letters and numbers from Earth, and sometimes we play games to teach him about stuff from other planets, but that's it. He's real smart though. I'm glad, because being an older brother is hard work, and if he was dumb, he would need so much help from me when he starts learning real math and science. When Mum started her new job, she and Dad sat us down and explained how important it was that we listen to them when we're off the ship. I was only 6, but I still remember how I felt during that conversation. It was exciting, and they made sure I knew it was going to be great, and Mum was going to make so much money. But meeting aliens was like meeting people from other countries. They might be really different, and they might be nice, but they might also say mean things, and they also might do mean things. It was like a level 2 stranger danger talk. Aliens understood we were only kids though, so when Aiden did something like poke the leg of a Yuluti ambassador, and then start crying because his hand got all slimy, they didn't get too upset. Plus, of course, aliens had kids too, so I also got to meet them and play with them. Some were so tiny, some were big, some were cute, and... well, yeah, there was this one that was so ugly, but I didn't say anything mean at all. I just smiled. I waited until we got back to the ship to tell Mum and Dad how creepy that one baby was. I thought this was Mum's job, and it would always be the same. Then they killed Dad, and we've been fighting to get back to Earth ever since. Mum didn't tell me exactly what happened. Maybe she will, when I'm older, but I think she figures the details don't matter. Why would I care whose president got angry at our president and decided to start some war? Everything was fine, and then someone was shooting at us through the window of the restaurant we were in, and Dad was hit. We rushed him back to the ship, but he died. Our planetary escort made sure we got off planet, but she had to stay behind. Her name was Milu. She was nice. I never saw her again. When Mum jumped our ship into the middle of nowhere, time sort of stopped. Aiden hated being in the medroom with Dad's body, so we just curled up in a ball under the covers in his bed and stayed there. For a while, I couldn't look away from him, but eventually I left the room, left Mum clutching Dad's hand as she cried, and then I couldn't bring myself to go back in again. She put Dad in cryo and promised me and Aiden that when we got back to Earth, we'd have a proper funeral. Later that night, Mum gave me another talk, like level 3 stranger danger. She told me a lot of aliens would be looking for us, not us in particular, but all humans. Once we got back to Earth, we'd be safe, but she was going to have to take the long way around, whatever that meant. There were some aliens that would help us, so we'd go to them along the way. She said that until we were back on Earth and safe, she had to turn off anything that connected us to the galaxy, so I couldn't even talk to my friends anymore. "This isn't for forever, Calvin," she assured me. "It's just for a month or so, maybe less. Then we'll be back on Earth and everything will be okay." It was hard to sleep that first night, and I had nightmares when I did. Aiden woke me in the middle of the night to sleep in my bed. That's fine, especially since he doesn't kick me in his sleep anymore. And to be honest, it was nice to have the company, to know he was right there. The next few weeks were pretty boring, to be honest. Mum even made me keep doing my schoolwork, which didn't seem fair, but I think she needed something to do. Even grown-ups get bored, and she didn't have anyone else to talk to. She went a little crazy cleaning the ship and checking on the engine and stuff. She always called it our reliable old rust bucket, because we'd got it used. But Apollo, that's our ship's name, wasn't rusty. She was just old. All that was important was that she was reliable. Our latest stop was on some planet we'd never been to, so Mum could visit some aliens she'd only met in person once. She landed in a place out of the way so we wouldn't be noticed, and her orders before she left were the same as always. Do not take one step outside the ship, and if anyone pressed the doorbell, don't let them in no matter what they said over the intercom. Mum told me stories sometimes about how humans and aliens alike would lie and be tricky to get what they want. So when someone did ring the bell, I told Aiden to lock himself in our bedroom, and I ran to the bridge to look at the screen that showed who was outside. There were 3 of them, and they looked sort of like humans if we were lizardly and green, and looked like we might explode from having too many muscles. They pressed the button again, and my heart raced as I stared worriedly at the screen, wringing my hands. Then one of them held down the audio button to speak, looking at the tiny camera lens. "Come on, humans. I know you're in there." My breath hitched, and I swallowed hard. I knew that was bad. All humans were hiding from everyone. If they knew we were here, that was really bad. "It's not a big deal, we just need to speak with the captain. Then we'll be on our way. My troop and I don't care as long as you're leaving soon, but we have to make sure you aren't here to cause trouble. I have the info on this ship. I know I'm looking for Captain Victoria Davis and her 2 sons, Aiden and Calvin." I didn't move. No way to know if they were telling the truth, and they probably just wanted to kill us. I couldn't even guess at how they were feeling, because faces were so different. It wasn't like one of them would say something evil and then turn to his buddy and wink. How long has Mum been gone? The clock said it was 1824, and Mum had told me if everything went according to plan, she should be back by 2000. That was a pretty long time for us to stay in this situation, and I doubted they would leave if I asked them politely. "All right, fine. Have it your way." The one talking backed up with his buddies and pulled out a gun. My eyes widened as he pointed it at the door, and he got off 3 shots before I leapt forward, held down the audio button and cried, "Wait! Stop!" before the force could break through the shielding layer. The shooting stopped and they froze. I grimaced, backing up. Great. What do I do now? The alien came back to the speaker and pressed the button again. "Who is that? Aiden? Calvin?" Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, I whispered, clenching and unclenching my fists. "Come on now, talk to me." No turning back now. I reluctantly stepped forward and held down the button again. "Yeah, this is Calvin. Just go away. We don't want any trouble." That's what characters always said in the movies, so I figured that was what I should go with. Then again, saying that usually resulted in the trouble they didn't want, so maybe I should have said something else. "That's fine, Calvin. Can we talk to your mother?" I hesitated before holding down the button to speak again. "No, she's busy. She said to tell you to go away." "Calvin, this is important. Your mother needs to come talk to us." He paused. "Unless she's not there. Did she leave the ship?" I pressed the button again to yell, "She's here! She's just busy! She's taking a giant poop!" The alien leaned back slightly, and there was a long pause. "She's using the toilet?" "Yeah, she's been in there for ages and you're being really rude," I snapped. "How would you like it if someone kept banging on the door when your tummy hurt, and you're farting and having diarrhea?" There was a longer pause, as the alien turned to their two buddies. I wondered what he was saying. Did they know about human poop? Did aliens even get tummy aches if they ate something that went bad? If they didn't, they might not believe me, but that makes no sense. No aliens could eat everything, right? Some stuff was extra and needed to be peed and pooed out. "Calvin, can you tell your mother that it's illegal for your ship to be here, and it's really important we talk to her?" I pushed down hard, angrily, on the console speaker once more. "Then you've just got to wait. I don't even want to go in there. I'll probably throw up if I have to again. It smells like a garbage dump had a baby with a sewer. When she gets food poisoning, she's like a weapon of mass destruction. We don't even have any windows on this stupid ship, and that dinky little fan isn't helping at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Mom threw up. And if she has to walk down here, she'll probably poop her pants and the whole ship is going to stink. Are you trying to get my mum to poop her pants?" Letting go of the button, I stumbled back a couple steps, breathing hard. Blinking rapidly, I glanced at the closet to my left. There was a gun in there. I knew how to use it. Mum and Dad had taught me, in case of emergency. But there was no going back from that. If the aliens came in and saw me holding a gun in my hand, all bets were off. They'd kill me. I would do everything in my power to protect me and Aiden, but I wasn't stupid enough to think I could kill all three like some action movie hero. They talked amongst themselves for a surprising amount of time. It was probably only a minute or two, but it was something. It meant they were maybe trying to figure out if I was lying, or if I was telling the truth, and was it really worth it to break down a door to an angry, pooping, probably armed human? Finally, he pressed the button again. "Okay, Calvin, tell her we'll wait, okay? But this ship isn't going anywhere. If you try to take off, we'll shoot you down." Stunned into silence, I paused for a moment, before pressing the button long enough to say, "Fine," and then backed off. I stared at the screen, watching them. One stayed there, and the other two went left and right. A few minutes later, they arrived back where they started and, I guess, talk about how long they thought humans can poop for. I finally sat down in the chair in front of the console, letting out a long, shaky breath. It was only 10 minutes later, all three of them still waiting and occasionally saying things I couldn't hear, that there was suddenly movement. They each leapt in different directions, and I caught sight of one of them taking his gun back out. I jumped to my feet and grabbed the console, leaning close, as if it would give me a better view outside. Seconds ticked by like hours, and I bounced on my feet, desperate to know what was going on. Then the distinctive cluck of the front door opening echoed down the hall. "Calvin? Aiden?" shouted my mother's voice. "Mum!" Bolting out the door and down the hall, I turned and sprang into her arms, which wrapped tightly around me. "Oh, thank goodness," she breathed in my ear. "Aiden's in his room. He's fine," I whispered. She turned to press the button to shut the door, and held me back at arm's length, holstering the gun that I just now noticed she'd been holding. I guess I knew what happened to the aliens. How long were they here? What happened? I saw scorch marks on the door. "Like 15 minutes, I told her. "They tried to talk me into letting them in. But they didn't force it? What did you say?" I grinned. "I told them you were pooping. Want to know what I said?"